Joining me now is Kimberly Graham. She is running for United States Senate in Iowa. Kimberly, welcome to the Young Turks.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. Well, you're off to a good start because I love your hashtag. Hashtag best senator money can't buy. So why emphasize that and what does that mean?
Right, so obviously we could have chosen a lot of different slogans. In fact, we've added a second slogan, which is hashtag everyone counts. But the first slogan was best senator money can't buy, and that's gonna be with us throughout. And that's because we really wanna highlight the fact that our democracy has been hijacked by big money in politics, and that we really need a representative Congress, one that's really made up more of just regular working people and less of people that are already wealthy or well connected to wealth.
All right, so I have to confess that I'm not caught up on all the politics of Iowa these days. So how many people are in this primary on the Democratic side?
I believe 4.
And are you the candidate that the Democratic Senate Senate leadership is backing, or is there someone else?
No, I'm not. The person that the DSCC came out and endorsed less than a week after she announced is Teresa Greenfield. And all the other people, Teresa included, running in this race are nice people. I know them, obviously. I speak at a lot of events we all speak at, and I know all of them. So anything I say about this is not an attack on those people. It's an attack on the system and the process, which is far from a democracy, in my opinion.
Can I guess? I don't know anything about Teresa. She is a business person and knows a fair number of wealthy people. So let me just stop there. Is that again? I don't know. Maybe she's a farmer. Maybe she's a small farmer. Maybe she's a pharmacist. Maybe she's a plumber. But I don't think so. My guess is, based on the fact that the Democratic leadership picked her, that she has more wealth.
She's the president of a small real estate company.
Oh, look at that, a business owner, just like predicted. Interesting. All right, so look, people have to realize that the corruption isn't just in the Republican Party. The Democratic Party will systematically go and pick the richest people in the race every time. Every time. So Kimberly, you see how you screwed up here by not being born as wealthy.
Oops.
Yeah, all right. And I could tell Schumer didn't pick you because ain't no Schumer candidate gonna do hashtag best senator money can't buy. So, all right, one of the things that the Schumer people of the world will say is, no, but look, Kimberly's for single payer, so that can't win in Iowa. So you are for single payer, so how do you answer that?
Right. So, of course, I've heard more than once that a real progressive can't win in Iowa. And to that, I always say to people, do you remember Senator Tom Harkin, the main architect of the Americans with Disabilities Act? Because he was very progressive, he was no centrist, and he was our senator for 30 years. He was in Congress for another 10 on top of that in the House of Representatives. And unfortunately, the people of Iowa haven't had a true strong advocate who will work for them since Senator Harkin retired in 2014.
And Obama won Iowa. So now look, as it turned out, Obama was more centrist than we would have liked. But that was not the perception. The perception that he put out by Fox News was that he was a Marxist socialist, and yet he won Iowa.
Right. And I think that he did that the way that we're gonna win Iowa. There's no shortcuts to winning Iowa. The way that you win Iowa is you travel to all of our 99 counties over and over and over again. You work your butt off and you spend the time. You have to go talk to people. And the thing that is always remembered about the way Barack Obama campaigned here was that he always had time to talk to small radio station people. He always had time for those small newspapers. He always had time. And in the beginning, he would go literally talk to 2 or 3 or 4 people in somebody's kitchen. My son's grandfather met him for the first time in a neighbor's kitchen, literally in Indianola, Iowa.
Yeah. So Kimberly, since you didn't run a large real estate firm, what was your background before going into this race?
For the last 20 years, I've been an attorney for abused or neglected children and parents. I've also done some mediation and collaborative law as well. But for the last 20 years, it's been my job to stand up and fight for vulnerable people in Iowa. And that's what I plan to continue to do as the next US Senator from this state.
Some people in the mainstream media have trouble understanding why I don't like Democratic leadership. Here you are fighting for neglected children in a time where the Trump administration has neglected and abused children in those camps. And the Schumers of the world say, no, you're not rich enough. Oh God, that's repulsive. All right, so Kimberly, let's talk more about your policies. So you say you can't be bought, so I assume no corporate PAC money.
Correct. Also, no money from any lobbyists. And if I find out that a lobbyist has given us money, like individually, that money will be returned. We found out that one of our opponents in this race did take a substantial donation. She claims she's not taking any corporate PAC money, and I have no reason to doubt that. But in looking through the FEC reports, we saw a sizable donation from a partner in a lobbying firm for insurance, tobacco, and pharmaceuticals, I believe it was.
Yeah. So look, the Just Democrats started the no corporate PAC money pledge, and now there's a lot of Johnny-come-latelys that are looking for loopholes. So that's not the point of this. So, but
and Cenk, I wanted to comment on something you said a minute ago because I think it's really important. I was actually driving 3 hours away. It's a big state. Driving somewhere to a campaign event a few weeks ago, and it just suddenly hit me that the contrast between Senator Joni Ernst, who's the person that I'll be replacing, and I could not be any starker. She continues to support the president and their policies of inflicting incredible trauma on children, trauma that they will never recover from. And I've spent 20 years standing up for the rights of children. It's like polar opposites.
Yeah, Joni Ernst said that she was going to make Washington squeal, I think. So are they squealing for joy because she's taken all the lobbyist money and sold out the people of Iowa? Is that what she meant? Because I can't see, she didn't seem to do any campaign finance reform as far as I can tell. She didn't pass any laws against lobbyists. In fact, she revels in the cash that lobbyists shower her with. So can you tell who's squealing and in what direction because of Joni Ernst?
Right. So I think on our website, we say that, she ran on a promise to make them squeal in Washington, but the only people squealing are Iowans harmed by her votes. And that's certainly been the case, and harmed by her support as well of this administration. As you know, I'm sure Iowa is a big agricultural state, and the trade war, ridiculous trade war, is really harming our rural communities. Farmer suicides are up, farm bankruptcies are up. It's absolutely horrific, and currently shows no signs of stopping. And I don't see Senator Ernst standing up and fighting for rural communities in Iowa at all.
So Kimberly, you're on the campaign trail. So I'm curious, what does Joni Ernst say when you guys point out that the farmers have been devastated by Trump's tariffs? Is she like, yeah, cool, whatever? Or is she like, well, we got him a bailout, and because big government works really well, so we should subsidize the people, pick winners and losers, which would be the exact opposite of her so-called ideology. What on God's green earth does she say about the devastation of the farmers in Iowa?
What I have heard her say is a couple of different things. I've heard her actually claim that farmers are still behind President Trump, that they still support him and that they're willing to take it on the chin to support the president's policies. I've heard that from her in various ways. And lately, I think since she understands she's up for re-election, I've actually heard her say that she, believes that the president, she disagrees with the president, and that she believes that Iowa voices are being heard when she has conversations with him.
Okay, yeah, she hears voices. That's really convincing. Okay,
yeah, maybe.
When you're the senator from Iowa, you're not supposed to be talking about how it's okay for the farmers to take it on the chin. You're supposed to fight for them. You're supposed to fight for your constituents.
Right.
So one more thing, Kimberly, you say you're for climate justice. What does that mean for you?
Right. So, I mean, a great starting place would be if we would adopt the resolution, the Green New Deal, and start implementing all the legislation that will need to be implemented to fully put all of that into effect. That's a good start. You're probably going to need to do a lot more than that as fast as we possibly can. And it's the reason that we say climate justice and we don't just say climate change or climate crisis, which I also use climate crisis quite a bit rather than climate change to highlight the seriousness of it. The fact is that climate issues the fallout tends to fall on the poorest people, basically, typically is what happens. Same with environmental pollution. It tends to be the poorest people in our country that really bear the brunt of it and have to deal with it the worst. I have a 20-year-old son, and the other day he seriously said to me, Mama, I think I'm going to buy some land in the middle of Canada, in the north part of Canada, because that's the only place we'll be able to live when I'm older. Yeah. And we have to understand that high school and college kids are legitimately thinking that way, and they're scared. And we all should be getting this done yesterday.
Yeah, it's not just students that feel that way. I told our audience the other day, walking through the streets of Houston. Now, Houston's always hot, right? But the climate crisis is making it worse and worse. I thought maybe I should buy land in Montana because some parts of this country are going to become uninhabitable,
right? And
let alone the planet. All right, Kimberly Graham, fighting for the downtrodden, fighting for the average person. And for justice. Kimberly for Iowa.com, Kimberly for Iowa.com, and we will have those links down below if you're watching later on YouTube or Facebook. Kimberly, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. We appreciate it. Thanks.
No
Bye-bye.
problem. Like what you see? Click the subscribe button below and don't forget to ring the bell to never miss another video from the Young Turks.